Hello, Slothrin and adult fans of LEGO. It's time for another episode of Sloth City. And this is a special episode. It is the 200 subscriber special. And what does that mean? It means there's no format. I don't know exactly what I'm going to talk about or what I'm going to show you. I'm just going to show you Sloth City and talk about how it was back in olden times, back when Sloth City was a little itty bitty baby city. And to do that, we need to go over to Old Town, where are the original builds of Sloth City. So here we are, in one of just a handful of little buildings that were all that I had when I started Sloth City. Buildings that were originally micro builds. Because to set the stage, Sloth City began at the beginning of the pandemic, when we were all sheltering at home and you couldn't go out and shop for stuff. There wasn't anything left on the shelves, so you were left to online resources. And it didn't start off with building a Lego city at all. It started off with finding a little 3D, like foam board and heavy cardboard and balsa wood and stuff. The 3D puzzles like dinosaurs and things. I started with those, and I was just so pathetically bad at them. I really can't tell you. I've got issues. I'm sort of clumsy with my fingers, and the big thing is I'm bad with spatial relationships. In a 2D field, I work pretty well. On a flat surface, I can do all right. In 3 dimensions, I start having problems, and I, get things reversed, and, it's hard for me. So I was not good at these, but when I was shopping online for those, I saw a little micro build brick set. And I'm not going to lie, it wasn't Lego brand. Lego doesn't have this unique little thing, and this unique little thing is still in my city along with some of the other ones that I started off with. I'm not going to take them out because it's where I came from, and I didn't know any better, and that's what I could buy with the money I had, and I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm not ashamed for it, and it's staying. So, the first one was the independent bookstore and smoking paraphernalia and such sort of products, independent business. And it has been altered somewhat, but it is the closest to the original set of anything that I have, probably, because this is the only build that still has the original micro build door. I left it there for nostalgia because really it's just a storefront. It doesn't, I have put in some bookcases in there, but it doesn't have a back. It's not, someplace where you can really go in and out. I left the door like that, and that's just because I wanted to preserve it as close to as possible as I could to the original micro build, with still being able to make it blend in to a minifig size, because once I did discover the Lego community, once I did get onto YouTube on a whim and look up Lego City, because I didn't know what else to call it, and found that there was indeed a whole community of people doing sort of what I was doing, and had built up a whole society around it. Adult people building, their own little Lego worlds. Well, I wanted to get in on that, but the big thing was I discovered the world of minifigures, and I was so down for minifigures. And I knew it was going to add so much to my budget to be building in minifigure scale and buying minifigures. But once I discovered them, I'm not a collector in that, like, I have to have all of something. But when I see cool things, I want some of those cool things. I don't have to have all the cool things, but I need some cool things. And I got the idea of Sloth City, and I got the idea of intermingling human minifigures and alien minifigures, and I just absolutely had to run with it. And so one of my very first buildings, along with the gay bar and the bookstore, was the Alien Cultural Relations Center, to make sure that in Sloth City, the aliens are having good relations with the humans, and that if there are any disputes, if there is any question of prejudice or mistreatment or discrimination, that they have someplace where they know that they can be heard. And we actually have Movie Benny in there. That does have enough of an interior to have a desk and a chair and Benny. So we do have a staff for the Alien Cultural Relations Center. And of course, the gay bar, Club Andromeda, as its host, its owner and host, and of course the head drag queen at all of the drag shows that operate out of my gay bar. You'll remember the whole story behind, the drag queens. I'm not going to go into it now. But yeah, that was one of the first stories of Sloth City. That was before I hardly knew anybody. And other original buildings were the Pesky bottling plant. That also is not real Lego. That is somebody else who made a micro build Pepsi place. I don't know what they were doing with it, but I turned it into a bottling plant for industry in Sloth City so that there would be, plenty of jobs. Didn't want to, have all of these places to go and no place to make a living so you can afford to go there. And the Time Restaurant, that is also one of the original builds. It was actually originally a two-story thing, I think. I don't remember for certain, but pretty sure. But of course, the courtyard next to it came with a real Lego set. That came much later. And I assumed that I showed you guys? Yeah, I'm sure I showed you guys, when I put in the TV signs on the TV station. I had the whole story of, all of the people who live there and, work for the television station. But that was not another, that was sent to me by Jude, and that's part of the story of the friends that I have made as I have gotten to know people in the adult fans of Lego community. And they have added so much by welcoming me into the community and supporting me and Sloth City and encouraging me to strive for ever new and original storylines and add to the storylines. And Brett and Buttchop and Winterbricker and Hailey and Dude Jude, and then Robin Holt Builds, and the Woodshopteacher, and Lewi 2x4. All these people reached out to me, and so I put all of them into Sloth City, and they're over here. I've got them all collected here at the theme park, because of course there was not originally a theme park in Sloth City either. The impetus for that was my partner giving me the Space Deep Launch Command Space. You know what I'm talking about if you're a Lego head, and I know that that's not the name of it, but it's something space, deep space, and there's a rocket launch. And I had to find a way to put it in Sloth City, and the way I thought of doing that was by having a theme park, having a space-themed theme park, which also gave me some place for all of my aliens to have somewhere to work, already jobs lined up where even if, all they can do is wander around with their, respirator on, they can provide, color and get paid so that they can feel, productive and add to, the economy of Sloth City. But anyway, on to sigfigs, Brett's Builds, Buttchop. There's Solbrick, who has the awesome Soul Town, which was one of the first places that I started binge watching for original stories. He's got some of the most original stories on YouTube, besides Sloth City, of course, if I do say so myself. We've got the Woodshopteacher here on the roller coaster because he says that he misses being able to go on the roller coaster out in real life because we have been pandemicking for so long. Behind that, we have Lewi 2x4. That's why I was pointing out the TV station to you, Lewi, because I thought that you might be seeing this and you had asked about the TV station. We have Robin Holt Builds, Sigfig Bob, and we have M.productions on the last car. Then we have on this ride, which I commandeered also, we have Hailey Bricks. We have Winterbricker. We have Hailey Bricks' dog, Parker, I think is his name. On yet another ride, we have another sigfig. MERA MANGLE is not exactly a member of the AFOL community. She is not a Lego head, but she is an awesome and iconic, real bona fide drag queen who has her own independent thing going on. She is not supported by RuPaul. She has her own YouTube channel. She does performances. She interviews people. She is awesome, and she's got a channel, and she's much bigger than I am. And she kindly allowed me to put her sigfig into Sloth City and make up stories revolving around her. So thank you to MERA MANGLE. I am now going to proceed to overview for everybody to see again all of the magnificent things that have come to Sloth City since it was first just a handful of micro builds sitting on a table without a road plate to call to its name, without a minifigure or a car. Now the streets are full of diverse and wonderful aliens and humans and Shima people and Fabuland people and all kinds of people living in peace and harmony and commingling their lives and destinies and making happy homes together and adopting dogs and cats and living together and Everything is colorful and Pacific and wonderful. And that is really what I want you to take away from all of these Sloth City videos is, oh, and let me also point out, there is Lego Scary Stories Zamora playing the non-trademark Godzilla-esque angry lizard stomping on buildings game at the Electronic Learning Center with his friend Connor. Connor is not a sigfig. Connor is native to Sloth City. He does not have a counterpart in the outside world. But Lego Scary Stories Zamora does. Moving on. Back to the overview. As I was saying, I've tried to make it creative. I've tried to make it my own little world. My world building experience is limited, but I think that it's quirky but kind of fun. And I just absolutely adore that I have been able to create a society, especially for the robots and androids, because, you know, they get a really bad rap in media. It's all about they're going to destroy humanity, and I think that that's bull, and, you know, there's no reason for having an apocalypse or anything when, you know, they can have their own society and do their own thing and, you know, interact with people on their own terms as full citizens. And the same thing with aliens. You don't have to be scared of them. It doesn't have to be alien conquest. They're not conquesting anything. They're living their lives. They're riding the bus. They're, you know, they're having relationships. They're adopting dogs. They are not doing anything that anybody should need to fear them for. They do not need to be stigmatized. They are just here in Sloth City like everybody else. Citizens adding to the color. And that's what I want of anybody who comes to Sloth City. I want you here if you want to add to the color, if you want to add to the diversity. If you have something to add, it doesn't matter if you're different, because we are a melting pot here in Sloth City. We're what America pretends to be and is still getting divisive over. Here in Sloth City, they have achieved the melting pot harmoniously. And that's what I want you to take away from this video. This has been a 200 subscriber video because I am grateful to have 200 people who have thought that Sloth City was worth following and was interested in hearing about the little stories and hearing about all the different people who live in Sloth City. And I thank you for being here. I'm glad you're here. I hope you'll keep on joining me for these updates, for these stories of Sloth City. And until the next story of Sloth City, I hope that you, my dear subscribers, my dear Slothrin, my dear adult fans of Lego, have a most excellent and fabulous day.